On this show, we'll dive into the complex realities of harm reduction, substance use disorder, homelessness, and related topics.
We want to emphasize that while we have extensive frontline experience in these areas, we are not accredited professionals. Therefore, despite thorough research, factual inaccuracies may occur from time to time.
We are passionate advocates who prioritize lived experiences and compassion in all discussions. Our conversations may contain explicit language and address topics that can be upsetting to some listeners.
We encourage everyone to engage with an open mind and understand that our goal is to foster understanding, empathy, and support for those impacted by these issues.
Hi everyone, welcome to a Daily Dose podcast. My name is Cassandra.
And I am Tanya.
And we're here today
to talk about more exciting things. Well, I mean, I do have something very exciting to tell you guys later.
Yeah, so we are excited because this week we have a guest.
And it's our first, not guest, but first guest that has lived experience. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be amazing.
But we'll introduce her more when she gets here.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the right time.
So, Tanya, how have you been?
Okay, so how have I been? Okay, let's unpack that. Because I'm sure you'd like to have a long explanation.
No, it's okay. It could be short. It doesn't need to be long.
Okay, so I start vacation today at 3:30. And I'm kind of excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready for like a gap out to just kind of rejuvenate. So I can come back a little more, not peaceful, but like
refreshed.
Yes, refreshed.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to feel
not
feel the
refreshed.
Need. Yes. Exactly. But I mean, today's going to be an awesome day. It's exciting knowing I'm heading out of the province at 3:30 today.
You couldn't just go on vacation. You have to leave the province.
Wasn't my idea.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
To get a break. I don't. I will still be here.
You will be holding down the fort.
I will be holding down. I'm trying to hold down the fort.
Yeah, there's a couple of us on vacation next week. So how have you been, Cassandra?
Swell.
Swell. Are you sweltering in the heat?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you don't like the heat, honey, do you?
Oh, no, I don't.
Meanwhile, I'm out basking in the sunbeams.
I have a hot take. I hate summer.
Oh, well, I hate winter.
But I was talking to Josue the other day about it because he also hates summer.
Yes.
And
how do you hate summer?
Because it's
hot.
And it's not like, oh, it's so nice and hot, I'm gonna lie out and get a nice tan. It's like sweltering. Like you cannot leave, you cannot do anything. You walk outside, it's like you're just like engulfed in humidity. So we've been in a heat wave the past few days. I think it's gonna break last night and today. We're supposed to get rain now for the next 3 days, but but we've been in a heat wave, like 40 pluses with the humidity, and Josue had a hot take about it, and I think it's true that we've been conditioned from such a young age to enjoy summer because of summer holidays from school.
Yeah, well,
so everyone thinks summer's great. It's not. It's not. If I'm cold, I can bundle. I can go home, or I can be at work. I can put on as much sweaters as I want. I can get a blanket. I can make a hot drink. I can be cozy and comfy. If I'm hot, I can only take off so many layers until it's unacceptable.
So you're in a pickle.
I am. Yeah. And so it's just, you're uncomfortable, you're sticky, you're sweaty, you're grumpy because you're so hot. It's tired. 2:00 hits and I'm exhausted because of the heat. I'm just like, oh my God, I just don't want to do anything. And our clients suffer.
No, they do. Absolutely.
They really do. A lot of people think that, oh, winter's coming. Oh, it's terrible. If you're out on the street, it's winter, you're going to get cold. And yes, it sucks. But then April, May, June hits and everyone's like, oh, it's summer. It's okay. If you're out on the street, it's nice. It's sunny. It's nice.
Yeah,
No.
Heat is hard.
I
on
think
our
it's
folks.
worse.
Yeah, I can understand why you say that, because
Yeah.
if you do get heat stroke or heat exhaustion, I mean, that's pretty serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it really drags you down for a couple days. Watch out for the table,
Right?
Cassandra. And it's and they don't have sunscreen and there's bugs out. So no, I agree. Summer is
You
really
get
hard.
like heat exhaustion, heat stroke, sun exhaustion, two different things between heat exhaustion and sun exhaustion. But like you got sunburns and you're dehydrated on top of taking whatever substances you need to take. Like it's just not fun.
No, a quick shout out though. We've had some folks deliver water over the
my
last
God.
couple of days, and we are ever so grateful because
We
that
have
keeps
a
our
tower
folks,
of water downstairs. It's amazing.
keeps our folks hydrated, and they're always looking for water, more so bottled, so that it can be taken with them. So this is
So
awesome.
thank you to everyone who.
Sorry about that. That was my chair only.
No, honestly, thank you to everyone who's
Yes.
like reached out and donated
Thank
water and freezies too. We've had donations of freezies and stuff, so that's
Yep.
incredible. Thank you.
Our folks are really enjoying it. So,
I still hate summer, so
and I still hate winter. So we need to find a happy medium.
Also, this is a very privileged thing. I am very privileged to have air conditioning. I go home and like it's cold in my apartment. It's nice.
Wearing your sweater.
Wearing my sweater and covered up in a blanket.
No
In my AC room, so I understand that, and I recognize that I'm very privileged. But we operate out of a very old building,
Not so privileged here, huh?
and the AC units are in a very central place. So there's like our offices are on the second and third floor, and there's one AC unit on the third floor in our coworker's office. So she is freezing.
It's frigid in there.
It's like, well, it's on 16 all the time. And so she's like, her fingers hurt because it's so cold she can't type. And the rest of us, like the next office over, we're like, we hear the beep of her turning it off, and we're like, hey, don't you dare.
well, your guys'
We're sweating.
is horrible.
It's so bad.
I thought mine was bad, but it's not.
Josue's in mine office. We share an
Blech.
office. It's so privileged. Oh my God.
It's workable, but it's not cool in there.
We can listen.
We
We recognize our privilege, but we can still complain.
Well, I feel so. I think so. I think we're good at that. I could do it.
Oh.
What's that quote about the rocking chair about complaining?
Oh, one of our
Complaining?
clients had said it.
Yeah.
Complaining's like sitting in a rocking chair. You get nowhere.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that was
You keep moving, but you get nowhere.
that was an awesome one. So do you feel better? Because we got nowhere.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry, I just had to say
We
that
did.
to
We
be
got
funny.
nowhere. It's fine. Sometimes you just got to let it out.
You just do you feel good?
I feel better.
Yeah.
Other than that, work's been okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. I
Yeah.
have a lot of trainings this week. A lot
Yeah.
of education.
You've had a lot of office work, I've noticed too.
Yes. The ban of everyone's existence. There's some, yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'm going to do some naloxone training today and tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Out in the communities.
I can't wait to go to your stigma one. I think I mentioned that to you
thanks.
earlier. Cassandra does. Can you tell us what the titles are of the different trainings you do? There's naloxone.
There's the naloxone training, seeing beyond the substances. Seeing beyond the substance, I think. We used to have two. There used to be one called Seeing Beyond the Stigma, and
Okay.
the new one's called Seeing Beyond the Substance. So it's like a stigma training.
Oh,
So it dives into what is harm reduction, how addiction affects the brain, what is an addiction, how everyone's addicted to everything, how addiction's linked to trauma, and then the lack of respect and the lack of dignity people who use substances and are homeless
Okay.
experience. Because it's okay if you use substances recreationally, but you have a house and money, and that's okay.
Yeah, they don't get stigmatized quite as
Not
much.
as much. So, and then I do like a general naloxone training. I do harm reduction training. I do needle safety training. But they all overlap. Like if you ask for a naloxone training, you're getting a stigma training.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh cool. Okay.
Oh yeah. I stand up there and I'm like, okay, we're here to do your naloxone training. But first, I'm going to stand on my soapbox for a minute. I'm going to tell you all why you need to learn about harm reduction and why you need to learn about stigma. Because if you're using
Oh.
naloxone, it's a form of harm reduction, so you got to understand it. So
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
That's really great how you unpack that.
oh yeah, I'm like, surprise.
And I'm always peddling Cassandra through the community as well,
Yeah.
because she does awesome trainings and they're so beneficial to our community to help us grow.
Do you want to talk about what was said to you the other day? You had an appointment at the hospital,
Oh, yeah.
and some hospital staff listened to the podcast.
And it was cute too. I know one of the girls that did the test and the other one I didn't. And they had said, oh my gosh, or the girl, because she's my daughter's best friend. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're in a podcast now. And I listened to it and I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, no way. Because she's like super young, like my daughter, or should I say super young like you? And so it was just really cool to see that our podcast is getting out, and she said she really enjoyed it. And she's a technician at the hospital. I don't know her proper title or anything, but she's pretty damn smart. I'll say that. But anyway, it was just really cool to see our podcast getting to different people, different walks of life. And I thought it was funny too, because I said it was cool that we have two different perspectives. Somebody that's older, just turned 50, and stop laughing. Anyway, by the way, Cassandra said I was dead to her once I turned 50.
Oh my
but
God.
yeah, hey, things stick. Just tormenting you, dear. But it is kind of interesting with somebody that's older, whereas somebody younger, you usually expect the younger people to be more open-minded. So I like the fact that we have two different mindsets.
We do. Yeah. We offer two different
perspectives almost,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. So that was really awesome.
It was really cool that it's just to know that it's getting into the hospitals and like the healthcare systems and things like that. And people mainly, like we said this right at the start, not to change people's minds, but like just the fact that like it shows how willing people are to learn about pretty taboo and niche topics. So like it's amazing. And that's the goal of the podcast.
Absolutely.
So it's so cool.
It's just trigger some thinking.
So before we dive into Tanya's daily dose, I just think we should take a minute because we're filming this podcast in advance due to like Tanya's vacation and other commitments coming up at the end of the month. But when this podcast goes out to the general public, it'll be August 1st.
That's crazy.
I know.
Oh my heavens. August 1st.
I know, it's crazy.
Time goes by so quick. Like I've been here for over a year now, a year and 3 months. I don't know how that went by so fast. I feel like I just started working here a couple months ago.
At the same time, it feels like you've been here forever. Not in like a negative way.
No, I was like, wait a minute.
Wow.
That's their second slam on me today.
No, it's just like been here. Like it's so natural. It just feels like you've been here so long. But August, for those who don't know, is Overdose Awareness Month, with August 31st being Overdose Awareness Day. So I'm just on the overdoseday.com website. So International Overdose Awareness Day, held on August 31st every year, is the world's largest annual campaign to end overdose, remember without stigma those who have died, and acknowledge the grief of family and friends left behind. So every year they do a theme. The theme for 2024 is Together We Can, which it's highlighting the power of our community when we all stand together.
Oh, give me goosebumps.
So it's a pretty heavy month, and to not celebrate, to kind of like commemorate the month and bring attention to a very serious crisis that is happening, we've decided to upload a podcast episode every week instead of bi-weekly.
We did. Oh, well, that's good news.
I ran this by you.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I just don't remember every week. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good idea, she says. She did know this, people. She knows things, I promise.
I do, but then I occasionally put it in an archive that doesn't come to the surface for a bit. Sorry.
Other things happen. It's okay. But yeah, we're going to do an episode every week. Not every week is essentially going to touch on overdose.
Yeah.
But just to kind of get the podcast out there a bit more and to bring awareness. We have a few guest lines up this week and a few different topics.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. So, and I think I didn't know this until I pulled up the website, but the theme being Together We Can, and just thinking on the guests we have lined up to come in this month and how it's the power of community coming together.
That's beautiful.
I think it's very fitting actually with some of the guests we have lined up to come on. So, yeah, just be a bit more vigilant, I guess, everyone this month, because overdoses affect everyone. I think, a good portion of Canadians have someone in their lives or know of someone who has been affected by substance use. So
it's everywhere. Yeah. It's everywhere. And we need to bring more awareness to it and
Yes.
keep our people safe.
Yeah. So, we'll touch a bit more about this as we go throughout the month. But if anyone ever has any questions, I mean, again, overdoseday.com, they have tons of great resources and a place where you can pay tribute and host an event, and they list different events that are around town. And we'll be hosting a little something that we'll talk about later, coming very soon, that have been working on for months.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's that. So, Tanya.
Yes.
Daily dose time.
Daily dose.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, yeah. So here it is.
Do you want to explain, Tanya, what the daily dose is?
Well, the daily dose would be a fun fact or a topic to unpack.
Harm reduction related.
Okay, so
supposedly
mine is never harm reduction related. So, she started a bit and she's committing to the bit. Well, you know what? It's just nice to have something light, stupid, and fluffy.
You know what? Just talking about overdoses, they're rough. They're heavy.
They're heavy. Very heavy.
Very. So,
yeah.
Let's see what this daily dose is. So
this is that was a rough intro there, but okay. So I got a question for you. How long can a chicken survive without its head?
A while, a couple hours, I think. I actually know something about this. I think
you do.
I think chickens can survive a while without their head.
Okay. Well, I have something.
Because that's where the saying "run around like a headless chicken" came from, isn't it?
Yeah. Or run around with like a
chicken with its head cut off. Yeah.
So in the 1940s.
Oh God, we have history background.
We do. In the U.S., a chicken called Mike lived for 18 months without a head.
18 months?
I don't think this is normal. Oh, it's from BBC Science Focus.
The word science is in the title. It must be true.
I like science. I love chickens too, but not without their heads. So this chicken, Mike, who lived for 18 months without a head, he'd been almost completely beheaded with an axe, but crucially, the jugular vein and most of the brainstem was left intact. This left just enough brain function for essential functions like breathing, and Mike was fed with an eyedropper through the stump of his neck. So I thought it was very fitting to know that there...
Please tell me how this is fitting.
Okay, so I used the wrong adjective there. It's not fitting, but a chicken lived for 18 months without a head.
Mike the headless
chicken. Gobble, gobble. Or cluck, cluck.
Yeah, there's a statue for him.
So that's my fun fact for today.
Ah!
What's wrong? Did you Google it and something else came up?
No, I Googled it and it came up. It's worse.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so disturbing.
Yeah. I thought that was weird because it's not supposed to happen that way. Seems like a little sci-fi crazy shit happening.
Okay, but that's an anomaly. Chickens can't live 18 months without their head.
No.
So how I want to know now how long a chicken can live with its head cut off. Is Mike the reason we say running around like a chicken with his head cut off?
You know what? He could have started that cliche. Mike will forever be famous.
Well, yeah, there's a statue for him.
Where's it located? I don't have it on my site.
National Geographic. Hold on.
Every weekend I get to see chickens. Did you know that? I actually took a picture
Do you have chickens?
No, I don't have chickens. I just enjoy. No, he's not a chicken. Do you know what he said to me one day? I said, I can't wait to see the chickens this weekend because we always go for this country drive and we pass 2 to 3 places that have chickens. Anyway, I was like, we got to see the chickens this weekend. He's like, I can take you to Sobeys. I was like, that's morbid. That's terrible. I don't want to visit those chickens. Anyway, that's my silly fun fact for today. Are you still looking up Mike facts? Are you
I think
okay?
It's in Colorado. I'm trying to find it. I think it's in Colorado.
It only said U.S. on my site, so thank you.
It doesn't give me where the statue is located, but it says that he's a headless chicken from Colorado. So I'm going to assume.
I can't believe mine didn't tell me there was a statue for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tanya's,
Oh, this ought to be good.
if you want something to laugh at, look up chickens wearing shoes. So a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we talked about an incident that happened where a client ended up getting tased in front of staff. And I had texted Tanya that night just to check in and make sure she was doing okay. You know, the whole staff is great with that. Like when something happens, it's pretty traumatic. We all check in with each other.
I love that.
And Tanya tells me I'll be great when I get to go home. She was out at a meeting or something. When I get to go home and watch my chicken videos.
They're so cute.
And then she sent me a chicken video, and it's just a chicken wearing giant shoes, just walking around.
They were even chucks too. They were like little crocheted chucks. So cute. Don't think I won't dress my chickens if I ever get chickens. I will so dress my chickens. And they will each have a name.
Aren't you? I hope everyone's so excited to get this kind of content every day for a week on the podcast.
I'll try to find more relevant fun facts.
No. Stop. Don't ever change. Tanya told me earlier, she goes, I had a fun fact pick out and it's about kindness. And I guess I made a face because she was like, yeah, I knew you wouldn't enjoy that one too much. Tanya, I don't go to you for serious facts.
It's probably best because you're not going to get them well. No.
Oh, well, thank you, Tanya, for that.
You're very
incredible daily dose.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little break, I think, while we wait.
Should.
Yeah, we're just waiting for our guest to show up, and then we can
play.
Oh, do you want to actually continue talking?
I was going to say you could play elevator music. Although we're not in an elevator, nor do we possess one. But
oh my God, this life would be too easy if we had an elevator.
3 flights of stairs, Buns of Steel 2024.
Oh my God, we're so privileged.
Oh, fair enough. I shouldn't be complaining.
Stop complaining. Complaining's like a rocking chair.
I'm going to go sit in my rocking chair.
You don't have a rocking chair.
You're right. So now I have a problem.
All right, we're going to go on a little break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Tanya,
Yeah.
do you want to introduce our guest?
I would love to introduce our lovely guest, our sweet and delightful Keisha Daly. Yep, she is sweet. And she has been a peer worker here at an ensemble for a couple of years, Keisha?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So, Keisha.
Have you ever seen Headless Mike the chicken?
No.
You wanna? There's even a statue
I'm
of
showing
him.
you a picture. I'm showing you a picture. Mike the Headless Chicken.
This is a riveting edition of
Are you ready to have nightmares?
I didn't even see the picture of it.
Oh my goodness.
And for all the listeners, y'all can Google Mike the Headless Chicken.
If
He's
you want
real.
nightmares.
Well, I mean,
Dun, dun, dun.
every day is a choice, different choices. So,
So you started working here 2 years ago,
Correct.
and we opened. Correct. Fact checking's correct. Around the time we had opened our overdose prevention site.
Yes.
So, do you want to talk a bit about how you found out about the overdose prevention site? Because you were at a shelter at the time, right? You were
I was
on the
at
street,
the
right?
Harvest House,
Yeah.
and Nick was a counselor there, and he knew that I used because I tell everybody. And he told me about Ensemble, and he said the overdose prevention site was opening up, and that's where he was taking his new job,
Yeah.
and he wanted me to be a part of it.
oh, wow.
So I agreed to be a part of it, and they came to pick me up one day, and I came for a meeting, me and a couple other people, and then it just hit off from there.
Awesome. I
Had
didn't
you-
realize that's how you started here.
Have you, that was the first time you ever heard about Ensemble, or did you know about it before then?
That was the first time I heard about
Really?
it. Yeah.
That really intrigues me, though, eh?
When people find out about us?
Well, what intrigues me is that so many people don't know about Ensemble or what it does. They're like, "Ooh, what? Ensemble?" I had somebody, long story short, another person called me the other day and they're like, "Ooh, what's Ensemble?" I'm like, "What? How do you not know what Ensemble is?"
It's very vague.
Well, it is, but we work here, so we assume everybody knows, but a lot of our community still doesn't get it or understand it, sorry.
Yeah.
So are you from New Brunswick originally?
I'm kind of from New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. My dad was St. John and my mom was Nova Scotia, so it kind of
Okay.
split.
Yeah.
At 16, I decided that I wanted to live in St. John, so that's when I was sent to live with my dad.
Okay.
And I started using when I was 25. My man passed away, and I started using drugs. Someone gave me a pill to calm me down, and I just started from there.
Okay.
That easy.
Yeah, that easy.
Well, your nan must have been very important to you and
she
a
was.
cornerstone in your life. So it's a lot to deal with the pain of losing someone.
Yeah, she raised me, so it was
Oh, I love grandmothers. Sorry.
Because you're a grandmother.
Wow, that's exciting too. But enough about me.
And you're 25, so like
that was the first time I used drugs.
ever.
I hated drugs at one point.
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
I was really against them.
And starting at 25. That's cool.
Because that's another misconception people have is that like you're 16, 17 and you're like, no, like you can be 25, you could be 30 and never have touched anything and then something happens and you're like you said, whoever they were, they gave you medication to help. So you were in St. John when that happened?
Yeah.
So how'd you end up in Moncton?
One night I decided that this guy kept on doing everybody wrong, so I robbed him. And I took all his stuff and I brought it to Moncton to sell all of his stuff, and I stayed here.
So that's how you got here.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
That is the most Keisha way of getting here. I don't know what I expected, but like that is like, yes, that checks out. If you know Keisha, that checks out.
It had to be done.
It did.
It did. So how old were you when you came here, ish?
It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
Oh,
so you haven't been here long at all. We work with the girl and we're like, oh, what? Who are you really?
Wow, so you only been in Moncton for 4 years. Cool, okay. Huh, I did not realize that.
Yeah. So Keisha started working with us, like she said, 2-ish years ago. She became our first, I believe, peer worker. So do you want to explain a little bit about what that means, like being a peer worker? It's basically like...
You help the clients.
Yeah.
You're just there for the clients.
Yeah. We hire... it's basically when you're an individual who has or had living experience with substances, right? So we hired her on and she's amazing to have. She is like our bodyguard around the building. We need something done. We send Keisha. She straightens shit up right away.
So how did you find it when you were first here? Because were you housed when you came back to Moncton? No. So was it like straight to the shelter?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. First of all, kudos to you for working here at Ensemble while trying to function at a shelter, because I've worked shelters and there ain't no sleep happening for like an 8-hour stretch.
No sleep happening at all. You're lucky to get 2 hours of sleep.
Which is brutal. So how was that coming to work? Like,
hard.
What made it hard? Like,
it's hard to stay awake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It must have been.
And you get it with no sleep. You can't really function right.
It's not healthy. No. Your brain literally can't function, right? So.
And I kept on overdosing because I wasn't getting enough sleep and I was using.
Gotcha. So it's a bit of a snowball effect sort of thing, but yet you kept your position at work and did amazing. But what a struggle you had to perform for work when you don't have the adequate sleep. Were you able to get a fresh shower every morning before work? No. See, I ask that too because a lot of people in the community across the world, they just think, oh, if you have no money and life is down, go get a job. I don't think many people would be comfortable getting a job when maybe they haven't had an extra change of clothes, didn't get a shower, didn't get a little bit of breakfast for brain fuel for the rest of the day and the rest of your
Yeah,
shift.
it's a struggle to eat even the supper, but it's hard to get to that supper.
Well, that's quite a hike from the shelter you were staying at. That's not a 10-minute walk.
Do you want to like just walk us through like a daily life? Because it's a lot of walking
Yeah.
and not a lot of getting anywhere, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of like waking up and like, do you want to just like, you wake up, you walk to this place, then you got to walk here, then you got to do this, then you got to do that, right?
Yeah, you're always walking, and you hardly have any food in your system. It's hard to even get water most of the time.
Yeah.
And to get a shower, you have to be on a list to get into a shower. So if you don't get on the list, then you don't get a shower.
Yeah. That's brutal.
And they do have breakfast, but it's a lineup to get to your breakfast because so many people are trying to get to it at once.
Running on little sleep,
Yeah.
like no sleep.
And two, being so tired to wake up to an alarm to work on time, even if it was for 11 or 1 or 2. I mean, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And then trying to fight to get a shower, not fight to get a shower, but to have your name on the list for a shower, to get your breakfast, and then to be work on time. That must have been a lot of stress getting here.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, also, and I do, because I know this from back before Christmas when you were up here in the needle distribution service, right? Like Keisha was working here, I believe at the time, 5 days a week, close to it. And then a lot of the times when overdoses occurred at night, you were the one that staff went to help with those overdoses. So essentially you never stopped working.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
It's a lot.
it's, yeah, not easy.
No,
So
not easy at all.
looking back, and because now you're housed, right?
Yes, I am.
She's got her own place. That's amazing and something to really celebrate because it is not easy to get housing in this city.
No, it's not.
Oh, and let me guess. And this is no disrespect. This is just how the system works. But how easy was it to get the housing? Like, and then through the paperwork, and then through this hoop.
It took
and
me
then,
4 years
That's
because I put my name on the list, but as soon as I got here.
okay. Okay.
And I had to wait and wait and wait. And then finally I got a worker. And then I had to get everybody to email her to be able to get housing. And
Okay.
I finally got it.
So, looking back, working here when you had no sleep and you were staying in a shelter and having those barriers getting to work, how is it now sleeping in your very own bed, in your very own comfort and safety in your home? How does that differ from before when you were staying at a shelter? How do you see the...
I get a lot more sleep.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about anyone touching my stuff. I don't have to worry about anyone touching me.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful having my own place. I love it.
That's awesome. Safety and comfort. Not all our folks have that, and we really need that to flourish in life.
And it's crazy because, and we as a staff talk about this all the time. Like we look back on, there was a period, it's not easy when you're working and on the street. Like it's mentally, it's ridiculous how difficult it is. Right.
Yeah.
And there was a point where we said to you, right now we want you to put all your time and energy into getting your housing. When you get your housing, you come back and we're going to hire you right away again.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel that? Because that was a very difficult decision for us to make, and then to tell you, and I know at the time it probably felt defeating.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look back now and do you think like that was beneficial
Yeah,
in the
it was.
long run? Like, because
I didn't have to worry about going to work and how
Yeah.
I was getting there, and
yeah,
if I had to walk that day.
yeah, because that was something, we really try to do everything we can, and you were so close to getting your housing, so that's why we were like, you know what, you need to put all your time and energy into that,
Yeah.
because you weren't sleeping at the shelters, you weren't getting proper nutrition, you weren't getting proper hygiene, and from an outsider looking in, you can tell like every day you were coming in, you just looked exhausted.
Yeah.
Like you were just not well. And now you come in every day
Smiling and
it's like a one, like it's so, you made Debbie cry when she saw you and talked to you for the first time.
Yeah.
Because she was just so happy. And I remember when you approached me, and that was another big thing that I had this kind of like, oh, I'm so proud she did that. You reached out to me when you were ready. You reached out and said, hi, I've been housed for this long. I feel like I'm ready to come back. And we talked it out. And one of the first things you said to me, and if you're not comfortable talking about this, you don't have to, was that you get to now talk to your kids.
Yeah.
And like connect with your kids every night.
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
Oh, Keisha.
Yeah, I'm talking to my mom. We've never really had a good relationship, and we're starting to have a good one.
Oh, that is
That makes me so, I like could cry.
Yeah.
But that's, it's,
how's that feel?
It's good. My mom is supposed to come down for a visit with my son.
oh my God. Your baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you like
I'm happy. And,
pumped?
and Rising Tide approved it.
Oh, good.
Oh, so they're going to come to your place, and that's incredible. Like that's, and the whole point is to say like, you can't do anything without housing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So like, how do you, if you looked back now and you were still in the shelter and you did like all the steps, you got a job, you went through recovery and stuff, do you think it would have been realistic to obtain that living in a shelter?
No.
Oh,
No.
jumpins.
Because that was, the forced treatment debate went around a couple months ago of the government saying we need to force treatment on people who use substances, make them go to treatment, but they never talked about housing.
But the treatment doesn't necessarily work.
Do you mean like just in
like
itself?
going to treatment? Because I see a lot of people go to treatment, and as soon as they get out, they're back to the same way.
Because they're homeless still?
Because they're homeless
okay.
still.
They're not,
How can you better your life when you're going back to the same routine?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hanging out with the same people, living in the same places, right?
And if you're around, if your friends are using substances as well, it's easier to use substances because you're always in it again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just because you go through recovery, that's a good point. When you come back into homelessness, it's just a cycle because you got to try to survive on the streets, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to like, how has do you find that your substance use has changed since you've been housed?
Yeah, I do use sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not like I was doing, because what I was doing, I was using every day. Every second I could use, I was using.
Right.
And now I hardly even do it.
That's
You're not
incredible.
even looking for it.
No.
That's incredible.
Do you think too, like it could be, or do you think it's like, oh, I'm so exhausted, I need to use to kind of like give me the energy to go get food?
Yeah.
And it's just that endless cycle of like, oh, I haven't had food in a while, but I need to stay awake because I need to watch my stuff, so I'm going to use. And like, do you think that's a cycle? Is that what it's like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like a survival. It becomes a point where you're literally
It's
just
what
using to
surviving.
survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even so much like I need to use because I want to use. It becomes to a point where you're like,
You need it.
yeah.
There's a purpose
Yeah.
for using, yeah.
So do you like being a peer worker?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Why do you like it?
Because I get to tell people what to do. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not kidding. You're not kidding.
We all like different things about our job.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's cute.
No, it's because I get to help people.
Yeah. So do you like, what's your take on like the drug scene in Moncton right now? Like, has it gotten worse in the past few years?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fentanyl is really bad.
Yeah. Have you heard about the new one that's going around?
I read up on it.
Yeah.
Nitrazine.
crazy.
or
That's
something.
not, is from what do you know, it's not here yet?
No, I haven't
No.
heard of it.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Hopefully
It's
it doesn't
just-
make it here.
I hope, God, I
not.
hope not.
Because people go for what's going to drop you.
Why is that? Like, why?
Because it's the stronger.
And they just want to, like, why, like,
I think they get a thrill out of
do you
dying.
think, is that what, okay, yeah. Like, it's kind of like, I guess, like, I guess
I didn't
an
like it.
adrenaline thing. I guess, like just kind of that, like, you know how people do those near-death experience, like,
Oh, like getting a high from taking risks.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think that's what it's like.
okay.
When I overdosed, it was like someone was waking me up out of a really good dream.
A good dream.
I was having the best dream of my life, and I got woken up.
Really?
That makes you all mad, and
Yeah.
I started crying.
It can be very emotional. I've seen several folks be very emotional after an overdose. I mean, it is a big thing. So,
But I went right back to using.
well, that is part of an addiction is using, even though there are risks involved.
And when
Yeah.
you did overdose, like, obviously it was accidental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people ask that. A lot of people assume that people who use substances, you know, they do it, they want to die or they deserve to die or whatever. But it's not an intentional thing. It's you not knowing what's in the drugs, right?
You don't know how strong it is.
So you
until
took
try it.
above your tolerance because you weren't sure what was
Yeah.
in it, right? So you said, like, when you come back, like, you went right back to using, like, what's your thought process when you, like, came back? Was it like,
Oh, I'm
you
gonna
just-
be sick.
yeah, it's not fun.
No.
So to combat that, you're like, oh, I need to get a fix so that
Yeah.
I'm not sick.
Yeah.
Right. So your episode is going up on August 1st, which is Overdose Awareness Day. No, it's not. It's Overdose Awareness Month. So throughout the next two podcasts, we're kind of just trying to bring awareness to overdoses and, you know.
And I think it's important that folks get to hear how the cycle is. It's not like somebody giving lip service over here. You're giving us live, actual, factual information of how these cycles happen that I don't think a lot of community understands. Because, you know, like fentanyl, like, you know, I've heard so many people say, I don't understand why people use fentanyl. It could kill them. Well, this is unpacking why and chasing the high too, I assume.
And a lot of people are using fentanyls because shadies aren't around anymore.
That's right too. There was some buzz about that the other day. That came in once the shadies went out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything, like, if you had to bring, like, awareness to overdoses and talk, like, just inform the general public about them, like, how dangerous is it out there right now?
It's dangerous. Like, people are overdosing all the time, and you don't know what you're taking until you take it. And if you're by yourself, you're completely screwed.
Yeah. And we never want folks to use alone.
No.
I'm so glad we have the OPS, Overdose Prevention Site. That is terrifying. Is there anything that you'd like to tell community? Not like for the folks listening, is there anything that you'd like to emphasize or like to let people know about your experience and sense of, like, how should the community treat people?
They should be a lot nicer to homeless people because they're really mean to them. Some people, like, will throw garbage at them.
Unfortunately,
Beat
I've
them
witnessed
up.
that. Oh, jumpins.
It's just not be nice to them. All it takes is just to smile at someone.
Yeah. It's a simple thing to do is smile, show a little kindness.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, this is not over yet. I'm not thanking you. You can leave. I'm just saying thank you for sharing that, because really folks need to understand how this goes. Like there's so many, stigma, blah, 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 but there's so many misconceptions on top of it. It's just like folks saying, oh, just go get a job. Well, you just explained
It's
how
hard
it
to get a
is.
job.
Well, and hard to sustain it when you can't sleep at a shelter. I mean, yes, you were in a shelter, but getting sleep with all the other folks is not an easy go.
No, it's not.
And housing isn't when we say housing first, we're not saying like, oh, housing's the end all be all. Once you get housing, you're fine. Like, you need ongoing supports and you need, right? Housing is a big step to that. You're able to take care of yourself. You're able to get good sleep and like have a house and a shelter, but you also need those ongoing supports to help
and
maintain
you get a lot
that.
more help when you're housed.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, do you find like people are just a bit like more willing to help because you're housed?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people are against people who are homeless.
which I don't know why.
Which is
it's-
so sad because that promotes more negativity and lack of kindness. I mean, there's so many various reasons why people are on the street.
Do you find that like, or can you explain in your own words, I guess, how places like Ensemble and like the other community partners and things, like how they're helpful? Because Ensemble, people don't like Ensemble. People think we put needles in parks and we're
Selling
catering
drugs.
people think we're selling drugs and how dare us cater to their words, they're junkies and what have you. But like, how beneficial are places like these for people who use?
Well, people who use, it's like someone cares. You're having a bad day where you feel like you just want to give up, and then you go to a place like Ensemble and it makes your life so much easier.
Oh, yeah. Explain that a little bit more. Like,
Well, because they're nice. They offer you if you want some food.
they care, like you said, I guess it's
They care about
it's caring.
The way to someone's heart is through their stomach.
It's true. But really, it's so hard to find. You got to make sure you get to the kitchens on time. You got to, yeah. So, I mean, and like you say, the heart is with the belly too. So I understand then why you say so much caring.
And coming on the other side of that, like we
And you don't judge.
no.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a genuine, I've only worked here. I can't speak for other places, but like there's something like, say if you came in, you asked for something and we didn't have it. Like it's a genuine, like, I'm so sorry. Like we don't have this. But like, it seems like because there seems to be a general understanding that like Ensemble will do everything we can to help. If we don't have something, it's never like, it's always like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Like, it's fine. That was just an add-on. That was just an extra I needed kind of thing. Like there's a lot of respect, it seems to be in the community. And I don't know, I'm not in the community, but like, there just seems to be a lot of respect from the other people who come here that like, we try as much as we can to help.
And that's why they respect Ensemble.
Yeah.
It's because they're there for you.
Yeah.
And we try to make sure that it is always a safe place. And I think that might be, would that be another reason why people like here
because
too?
they have a safe place to go to. It don't matter if someone owes them money or not, they can come in and use without getting assaulted.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel like being able to walk around and tell people that like you're an employee of Ensemble?
I'm proud to be an employee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. We love having you.
But I see, because I see that like you're very proud to work here and like to tell people you're working here, and it's like it just seems like, it sounds so cheesy, but it just seems like you like have this glow when you come in to work here. And I don't know if it's because you get to tell people off or like tell people like 3 minutes left, get out.
The enforcer.
But she is our enforcer. But it does seem like it's this like you're proud of yourself, but also proud to be here, to be an employee of like this organization.
Yeah, 'cause I made it so far.
Yeah.
You're always smiling. I love
Because
seeing
a couple
your
years
smile.
ago, I was ready to give up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be easy out there, Keisha. So kudos to you for getting this far, for doing what you've done for yourself and being
Putting in
Because
the
I didn't only
work.
stay in the shelters, I also slept outside. Like on the pavement.
And
stuff.
like if you could describe that, like what it like that, it can't be like,
It's the worst days is when it rains.
Yeah. Like today.
Yeah.
It's hard for folks when you don't have shelter.
Yeah.
do you ever find it hard? Because we have a few other peer workers and I've talked to them about this, and like sometimes they find it hard. This isn't, I don't think it's going to apply to Keisha, but I don't know. Do you ever find it hard like juggling being an employee of Ensemble, but also being part of that community?
No.
I love how you answered just like that. That's awesome.
I've talked to some other peers and they find it hard sometimes, like when they have to reinforce, because we don't have a lot of rules, but we do have
rules for safety.
Sometimes it's hard to tell people to move on, get off the steps.
But do you know what I mean? Like sometimes, does it ever like you
They
find
just look at you.
Yeah. But do you ever struggle with that sometimes? Like I know a couple of our peers, they've struggled with like having to reinforce those rules, but then also having like being like, but like I get it because like I'm part of that community too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine like, I guess you'd feel like you're getting pulled both ways.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't think you had an issue. Do you have like a meaningful interaction or like a moment where you feel like your lived experience has made a difference, whether it's here or like, because you've done some media interviews and things, and like, do you feel like sometimes...
Well, someone said to me that they can get a job because I did it.
Oh.
Someone said that to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That shows
That's
perfect
incredible.
peer. Yeah. That's wonderful. That's exactly what a peer is. It's for folks to look up and to see that things can be excelling and good for them. Gives them hope. Because it's got to be pretty dark out there some days.
Yeah, it is.
I can imagine you reach a point too. I can't imagine actually, but like probably reach a point where you're like, I'm never ever going to be able to do this again or this again. Because it's like you said, you waited 4 years to get housing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
So like you probably reach points where you're like, well, I'm never going to be able to get a job again, or I'm never going to be able to do this again.
Yeah, I've tried to harm myself because I just felt like I
Keisha.
wanted to give up.
Yeah. What was the little thing that kept you going to be like, I'm going to keep trying tomorrow. I'm going to
My
keep
kids.
Your kids. Yeah.
And now you get to visit with your son soon.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps, Keisha. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
How old is your little son?
He is 6.
Oh my
he's such a cute age.
What a nice age.
It is, but like that's important to have those little like things to keep you being like, I'm going to try again tomorrow. I'm going to try again tomorrow. I'm going to try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it's led you to here. Now you're a peer worker. Now you operate the My Safe Space program.
Yep.
So you're trying to get like an
Trauma group?
Oh, trauma group.
trauma group. Yeah. Like trying to start a trauma group for other clients to come
Yeah.
up and join you and things. So, are you excited for like all that and get,
I can't wait for it to all come together.
Yeah.
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 Are there a lot of missing pieces so far, or?
Just missing people.
All right, that's good. That's a big component.
Well, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do here, what your current job is here? So you, you're a bit of everything. You go where we need you some days, but you have you're a medically trained first responder.
Yes.
You've worked the OPS, you do the NDS. But right now, when you come in, unless we need you elsewhere, do you want to talk a bit about what you do?
I work at My Space. It's where you can come and hang out, color, just relax. It's just a safe space for anyone to come to.
Offers that like moment of quiet that you don't get at all,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So Monday to Friday, I think we said
12
12.
until 3.
12 to 3. Like
Oh,
there's a
okay.
room open, at Ensemble where people can come and just relax,
Yep.
hang out.
How hard is it to get 2 minutes of peace to yourself when you live on the streets?
It's very hard.
Why is it so important to get that? What does it
Because
do
you-
for you?
Okay, you can get your thoughts together.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting your thoughts together, you're just all over the place.
So this program that you're running is so important, in my
Yeah, it is.
opinion.
And you're working closely with Sandy, our counselor,
Yes.
and getting that up and running. It's so, there's a music room.
Yeah, that's right too. Sorry, I got a little excited there. but There's just so many talented folks out there. I can't wait until not that we're trying to create a band, but it would just be nice to hear folks jamming in the other room and just laughing and having some.
I still think we need drums.
Oh, I
sweet
think we do
nibbles.
not.
No way. I haven't even got a
Maybe those
tambourine.
electric ones that have no sound that you have to plug headphones into.
We'll put a mucky with
But
it too.
some little like
Chip.
get it some
Plum.
yeah, put
yeah.
it get
Symbols.
a triangle and have spoons and
This went bad fast, Keisha.
yeah. She's like, I take it back. So like we were gonna end it on a question, I guess. I don't like this question. I don't like how it's phrased. So I'm trying to think of a way to phrase it. Like, what are some goals you have for yourself, either here with Ensemble or like personally? Like, what would you like to achieve in the next, like, say, year or two? Like, what would you
have open space where there's a bunch of people coming and just stay housed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, do you feel like you can do that? Like,
Yeah.
Like you have the supports in place and things
Yeah.
to do that? And how important is it to have those supports to like maintain those goals and to keep your housing? And
It's
like,
very important. You need help.
yeah.
You can't do it on your own.
No. So what kind of supports do you have right now? Like, just like as to end on a positive note.
Well, I have Ensemble, and
Yeah.
plus I have a worker from John Howard.
Yeah.
Becky's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have that support, which is important.
Yeah.
Which again comes with, in order to get housing and keep it, right? Like, we've seen a lot of community people get housing and then within a year they're back out on the street because they don't have those supports in place. And
This is a crazy thing to say, but it's a common thing. It can't be easy being housed and knowing some of your friends are not housed. And it must be hard not inviting them in as well.
It is.
Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's going to be
is.
hard on your heart.
well, because a lot of housing units do have set rules and policies, and for a lot of them, it is you can't have any guests or can't have people stay after a certain point, I guess, at night and things like that, right?
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so it's a common thing. I feel like
I think it's stupid.
And I understand why you think it's stupid. I really do. I mean,
I don't think you should have a curfew.
No.
If you're not making noise and being disruptive, I think you should be able to have people at your house as long as you want to.
So Keisha, is there anything else you would like while you have a moment, and like I hope people are listening, is there anything you'd like to share, like something you just wish people would understand, or like, I don't know, like anything you would like to share
Homeless
about?
people, they're struggling every day, try to stay alive. Take it easy on them. Stop being so mean.
it's true. Our folks have a lot of struggles. a
Even
lot
being
of
in
trauma.
a shelter, you struggle being in a shelter because some workers aren't very nice to you.
That is going to make it incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like a lot of people, for some reason, they feel like when you start using substances, like you have no free will. Like now all of a sudden, because you're using, I can make choices for you. Like, have you ever felt like that? Like you have no say in your own life anymore just because you use substances and you've fallen on hard times? Like, you feel like you're getting pulled like a lot of different directions. And,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, like, what would you say to that? Like, how would you, like, is there anything you'd like to say to that to make people understand that, like, that's not the case?
And just because someone uses drugs doesn't mean they're a bad person or anything. People can use drugs and do day-to-day things.
Yeah.
Recreational drug use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Keisha. This was awesome. I'm not sure.
You're welcome.
I hope it wasn't scary.
No, it wasn't.
No.
We're not that scary. But
Speak for yourselves.
oh, slam. I like it.
All right, Tanya. Do you
Thanks
want
again,
to?
Keisha. Really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
You're
All of the
welcome.
The
information.
whole, like, we
and
would just really
sharing.
hope, like, we can bring some awareness to, like, the facts about what's it like to be homeless and use substances and the stigma that comes with that, and how difficult it is. And it's not as easy as like going to get a job or just go get housing. Like, why aren't you working to get money so you can go get housing? Like, it's not that.
No.
If it was that easy, would people
Do you
not
think we'd
tried
have
it?
homeless?
And you can't, if you can't go rent an apartment on the income.
No.
No, you can't.
The pricing
Right.
of housing is ridiculous as it is, but
Yeah.
what you get from a check is not enough to even live for a month, let alone save so that you can get a damage deposit. And it's just nuts.
Yeah. So we just really hope that after listening to this, some people like just realize, oh, it's not that easy. and life's pretty hard when you're homeless
Yeah,
and you need housing to do anything.
exactly.
So, all right, Tanya, do you want to sign us off? I guess we can end by saying thanks everyone for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram.
The talk,
The Talk?
the TikTok.
Oh, I thought you meant the show, like The View. I was like, is there a show called The Talk?
I don't watch
Our
regular TV.
Instagram account.
I don't know what
Our
to-
Instagram is a dose of reality _podcast, and our TikTok is the dose of reality. Our Gmail is adorepodcast@gmail.com.
She's brains behind this operation, if you can tell. I'm just here to yak.
And we're gonna be back next week, not
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Next week.
I got it now. I get it. And it's in my memory. Well,
To bring awareness to Overdose Awareness Day or an
Absolutely.
Overdose Awareness Month.
yeah. We'll have some other guests on that can bring more awareness, and we can
Scott and Melissa are coming next
Yeah.
week to answer some questions and
week after.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that one.
So, do you want to do your sign off, Tanya?
Everyone, my favorite thing to tell you is be kind out there. Stop making fun of me. You know you like it too, you cheesemonger. Get out of here.